second. No, it's just been kind of a huge learning experience. Like as soon as you learn how to operate your business, the whole thing just is new. All right. So in the beginning, we just kind of kick it around for a little bit, tell people join us. And I did send out a notice so that they would know that you were going to be on. Okay, we have one person. So exciting. Who is it? I don't know. They'll start commenting. So I'd introduce you, except for then we'd have to do that all again.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know how to turn the camera on my phone around while I'm doing this? If I wanted to show something that way.
There should be a little reverse button on the bottom of your camera. Christy, how does she turn around her phone? The ladies will start typing in answers.
Okay.
They know I need all the help I can get. Hi, Christy. Hi, Leilani from Arizona. Hi, Lynn. Christy says she loves your fabric.
Oh, thanks.
She said it's so original. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Carolyn. Okay, girl. Hi, Mary. Mary, I'm sorry I missed lunch yesterday. I promise I'll make it one of these days. Okay, so girls, how does she turn around her camera so you guys can see her studio? Every day is a new experiment.
Push camera.
Push camera where?
Okay, push camera.
And that should
Nope, that takes you off.
Oh.
Nope. Hi, Mary Mans. Yes, Mary? I don't know. Usually they're so helpful with all their little, there should be like a little reverse arrow.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't see one. Let me see if it moves. Nope.
Well, my people are used to us not knowing what we're doing. Okay, girls, look it. We've got a goodie bag from Moda, and it's got Cathe's little patches in there. She's going to talk to us about them later. Hi, Linda from Idaho. Hi, Diane from Georgia. Judy, Beverly. Hey, Katrina. Oh, Katrina, that might be a smart alecky answer. It's like an Australian answer. She said, flip the button. I don't know.
It doesn't have that little camera with the swirl
option. Yeah. Should have a camera in one of the lower corners with a circle with an arrow.
And it doesn't. That's what I'm looking for.
Uh-oh. All right, so we'll just have to wing it. There might be a little camera that changes it to 180 out. I don't know. I just keep pushing buttons till something works.
I'm afraid to push too many buttons and then I'll end up I'll be gone or something.
Right. Well, if that does happen, you can just come right back in.
Okay.
So anytime, because my ladies are used to it, but sometimes because we're all working out of our homes or different places and we don't have a camera crew like we should, the internet sometimes isn't perfect. So anytime we get disconnected or it gets crazy, you just come back in.
Okay.
She says, are you doing a full screen? Connie, I know you just push buttons. You're just like, I could have been your daughter. Okay. Oops. Connie, I highlighted you. Now I don't know how to get you off my screen. Devin, how do I get that comment off?
Hit the comment.
Okay. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Cathe Holden. Where do you live?
I live in Northern California. I'm in Petaluma, which is about 45 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Bay Area in Hayward.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know where Petaluma is.
Yep. No, Roger is my camera crew. Now you guys know how I might be in trouble. Okay.
We're just north, but we live actually north of the town of Petaluma. We're kind of out in the country on 1 acre.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And do you work out of your studio?
I do.
At home?
Uh-huh.
And what got you interested in designing fabric?
I think every graphic designer wants to design fabric at some point in their career. So I'm a graphic designer that's been my career forever. And I did mostly branding and logo work while my kids were growing up. But before that, it was agency work. I had a design firm and stayed home with the kids and did mostly branding and stuff, and started a craft blog during that, and started doing other products and other projects. But there was a company that we were kind of in pre talks and design work for a whole line of products that would have gone in Michael's and Joann's and stuff. It ended up getting backburnered it's a very strange process. And, but I ended up having all these files that I thought it's just a shame for these to just sit on my computer. And one day I just put everything together in a nice proposal and sent it to the best fabric company I could think of, which was Moda. And they got back to me, and we've been working together ever since.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And is it pretty stressful coming up with new designs, or do you just thrive on it?
You know, they're really generous with scheduling and time. So it's not hard. They're not super hard deadlines for me. And I usually have a pretty good idea of what's next, or an idea or something I'll come across. I'll be in a magazine, I'll see a headline or something. Oh, that's a funny little word. What could I wrap a whole line around, a whole collection around that cute word or something? So flea market was that whole concept. I love flea markets, and I collect a lot of strange things and love how they just combine together in contrast, but still work together nicely. And it's just a very eclectic, my style is pretty eclectic, and different eras come together. And so that was kind of the original was, what am I going to name this? I have all these ideas. What can I call it? So that's how the flea market came about, is, when you're done at the flea market and you look at all your cool stuff, somehow they all kind of rhyme, even though they have nothing to do with one another. And so that's kind of the first collection was Flea Market Mix, and then Flea Market Moxie. I didn't know what to do next. I mean, like my first line, it's really hard to gauge when you start your second line, how well the first line's doing. So I thought, well, okay, I already did that. What else could I do? But I love the name flea market, and I love it as a term to explain why I'm putting strange things together that really don't seem to match. And so that's how Flea Market Moxie came about, was just some really cool images that I love and put them together. And it's been a hoot. I mean, it's been doing really well. And I think it's going for another round of, it's in the, I don't know. Have you met with your sales rep yet for this month?
Yep. He was just here.
And I think they're doing it, they did another round of the Flea Market Moxie and another round of the Flea Market Mix for some of the best sellers. So it's doing really good. I don't have it. So it's not super stressful to come up with stuff. I try to come up with in one collection more than they'll ever need, so that they can, the people at Moda are so great and so creative that they can say, we like this one, but could you, and they'll give me an idea and I'll run with it. And so we bounce ideas off of each other. So they help a lot. They're very great with that. But I'll always try to submit way more than they need, so that we can weed out what works, what doesn't. A lot of times they'll send those off and have strike-offs made, so we can actually see it in fabric and say, yeah, that just didn't translate at all. Or, oh my gosh, that's better than we expected.
Right. It's pretty exciting to order fabrics, but sometimes it can be, your lines are great because they're not too overwhelming. Because as a shop owner, for me, and I know as a customer, when they come into quilt shops, it's hard when there's a line that's got 40 pieces, because nobody wants to pick through their favorites. So the size of your lines are really pretty perfect.
That's great. Good
Yeah. Okay. Can you show us a sample of the Flea Market Moxie? Do you have any there?
Yeah, I have.
So people can see what
it's going to be a total show and tell today.
Okay, perfect.
So,
And then Christy says, if you want to experiment, she says, go to more settings at the bottom of your screen. And then it will, so just go to settings, and then it will say camera. And then you can click on back camera. And then that will be the back of your.
I've done something to the screen, so it's really strange at this point. I would have to, do you mind if I close out and just reboot?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I can chit chat to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to your
Yeah.
peeps. Yeah.
Okay. All right, girls. If you have any questions for Cathe, just type it in and then we will ask her as soon as she comes back. And let's see. Oh, well, that was quick.
No, that's not. I'm not out. I'm not gone yet. I'm just trying to figure
I
out.
don't think you left yet.
Okay, well, let's see. Let me see. So she says what? Touch the camera?
Yeah, if you touch the camera, then it will give you the option for back camera. Oh my gosh, girls, look at, you're getting little peeks into our studio.
Yeah. Camera. Oh, I found it. Okay. Okay, I think we know what to do next.
Okay.
All right. We'll try that when we come back. All right, give me a sec to put this back up on my little stand.
Mary Men's, her line is in our store, and we've actually had it on one of the Friday celebrations, but we are going to put it on this Friday celebration again. So we have kits available. We have fat quarter bundles. We are missing some of it because they shipped us, I think, 15 bolts of one SKU that was wrong. So, but we've got enough to get through this Friday. How long does it take to get a line produced from submission to production? Ew, in COVID times, that's a
Well, I'll give you
for anybody.
my next one that comes out in August. It'll be in your shop in August. I started designing last June. So Flea Market Moxie is my second line. I just submitted and finished designing. I mean, they still have to kick it back to me, my 6th collection, which, so that'll be far into 2022.
Yes.
So what is that? About 9 months, something like that. Well, maybe even a little bit more.
I would say
It kind of depends. They can really push things through, but they're really good at knowing when to release a line. So, the one that's outdoorsy might be, maybe if they wanted to, they could have crammed it in sooner, but they have a system and they know what works best and when to release it. So June to the following August. That's over a year, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and some, like right now during COVID, it's even longer, I think. Because some stuff that I ordered last May is just now coming into the shop.
And this is just a side note. I mean, it's obvious I don't have any hair, but I was diagnosed in July with breast cancer. And so Outdoorsy was the project I worked on all through chemo. And it's funny because sometimes for me, adversity and, difficult times, I'm like my most creative. So I really think this collection is going to be fun. So that's the next one, but I'll talk about Moxie now if you want.
Well, I've already ordered the Outdoorsy.
Okay. Yay.
So I've seen it, but it's a secret to everybody else.
But I can show it today.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I have little pictures to show you. So I'm going to show you Moxie. So my husband, let's see if I can do my camera right. He makes wine, and these crates, see how they're stacked up? They're in our barn. We have a little barn out in the pasture that has all these stacked up, and they're just so cool the way they look. We're all stacked up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they used to out in the field to gather grapes. So one day I'm looking at them in the barn and I'm like, that's just really cool. I love all the typography. So we actually have fabric. I made the design fabric that looks like that. And so it's called wine crates, and it comes in 3 different colorways. I'm going to mess up if I try to name all the colorways right now, but I'll just show them to you.
That's okay. And we have all 3 colorways. So girls, you can order all of this fabric on Friday.
And this is the, one of them's parchment. One of them's, I can't remember. So that's really fun. And my husband, I made his mask out of that. I have to redo it, but it's kind of guyish, I have to add, he's worn out his little ear loops.
I like that as a mask.
Another one is book pages. This is really fun. It's just jumbo book pages blown up. So it's like all kinds of fun lettering and words you can cut from. You can use this as a whole cloth panel, or just cut out little pieces.
And that's perfect if you girls are getting ready to do some kind of an applique. That's a perfect background for it.
let me grab this.
Yeah, is this real one?
I've always got all these little vignettes around the studio. This one was just a little doll bed, and I made
Oh, super cute.
this one is how to make a bed. So that's in there.
Oh my goodness, girls. Do you see that? We're going to have to like start little collections. So
Okay.
I think there's some people that are really, really great at going to flea markets and garage sales and antique shops and finding treasures. I go and I just get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Sometimes I just go with no intent to buy. It just gets my juices flowing. I'll find some vintage thing and go, how can I bring that into the present and improve on that? Or, or just, I don't know, vintage pictures or ephemera. I'm crazy about ephemera. Just get my juices flowing creatively. So some of you might remember making gum wrapper chains out of your gum wrappers. It's just a crazy thing I started collecting. So I have this huge collection of, I'll show you when we go around the studio, of gum wrapper chains. So it just makes the best fabric.
I love that.
What's neat about my collections, all of them, they're digitally printed. So that, I don't know if you can see, the detail is crazy. It's super fine. Let's see if I have anything made with that. Oh, my flat pin cushion. A lot of times, I don't make as many things as a lot of people probably do. I'm a small project crafter. I have not made any quilts with my collections, but I've had them made. So a lot of times I've met up with people who I know through Instagram to make projects for me to help promote the line. So I'll show you some pictures of those. This one's really fun. So back here, it looks kind of like just this funky black and white pattern. But when you get really right up in there, do you see the people?
Yes.
It's like from the 60s. They got their Ray-Bans on. And
fabulous.
so it's just this crazy repeat of people, the crowd scene. So one of the things that I started collecting, because I had this grand idea that I was going to make stuff with them, is I collect a lot of vintage needle points from the flea market. Right?
Oh my gosh.
So
those are fabulous.
Because I kept thinking, I'm going to make this. There's more. I mean, I've just got many. And I thought, I'm going to make those recycled or upcycled bags with them. Because I've seen them on Instagram and other people on Pinterest making these amazing tote bags and stuff with repurposing the needle points. But I just kept collecting and not making. And again, just sort of like the wood crates, I thought that's just, those together just make the neatest composition. So that's the needlepoint fabric.
I love that.
So I just found really interesting areas of the different needlepoints. And
Mary Lou says we need to go flea marketing with you. Like we might need to do a retreat, girls.
It's unfortunate because like my sister lives in Springfield, Missouri, or in that area, which is where I grew up. And when I go back to visit her, they have the indoor flea markets, which are like collectives. Everybody has a booth. Oh my God, they've got so many of them. And it's just so, the pickings are great. Here, they're antique stores. We have the big Alameda flea market, but they're just not priced really that well. They're mostly for people who sell antiques going. So it's just hard to find really good bargains.
Yeah.
So thrift stores are about the best I can do out here. And even those are really hard to, it's hit and miss.
Yes, for sure.
But the Midwest.
Well, and I hear like in Oregon, they have big like Deseret Industry like containers. And like on certain days, they open it up and people just like run into the containers and dig through it as fast as they can.
Okay, that stresses me out. I can't even imagine.
With me too.
I'm so stressed out.
I'm not a good digger.
So I also have, here's a picture. I have this collection of vintage paint by numbers. We have this sunroom off of our house, and it's just a side room. It's not like the main part of the house. And I found this vintage funky old sofa, and I started collecting vintage paint by numbers to hang up behind it. I take the frames off and sort of do a patchwork of them. And I've turned that room into a gym since. But in the meantime, paint by number fabric.
I love it. I love it all. Cindy Gygax, she lives north of Petaluma, so not too far from you.
I live almost, where does she live?
Fremont, California.
Okay, so yeah, my
Newark,
address,
I think.
my address
Newark.
is Petaluma.
Yeah.
And then this one's fun. This is the last one. This one is vintage cigar labels. If I can hold it up.
But those make perfect quilt labels.
Yeah, so that's the idea, is quilt labels.
But I thought they'd be fun to do like with some wool work, like little birds in the center of them or something, or dimensional flowers. So many fun things you could do with those labels.
Here's a couple of things I've done and made with this collection. Oh, so I did end up making one of those bags. Using some of my needlepoint.
Beautiful.
I also, and I'll tell you about it later, but I also designed stencils. So I have a whole line of stencils.
Perfect.
But I lined it with
Super cute.
needlepoint.
Super cute.
And then the little pockets are the book pages.
So do you put those on your Etsy shop to sell them?
These?
Yeah.
Oh, heavens, no. I could never keep up. And in fact, the problem I have with Etsy and any sales is I hate shipping. So anything on my Etsy shop is digital for now.
Okay.
Here's a little pin cushion. I did velvet on the back, but this is one of the, I did an embroidery on it.
Oh, very
You can
cute.
read it.
I trust the next chapter because I know the author. Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
So
Yes.
that's one of the cigar labels.
I like that.
And this
There
is
you go, Lynn. There's ideas for you.
These are totally work in progress, but I love working with ball chain. So I was adding some border around this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It
Oh,
just has a really neat dimension to things.
Yeah.
So that's work in progress. I have no idea where it's going. The needlepoint's really fun to do sashiko stitching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you just follow the lines that are already printed on there, it looks like you actually do the needlepoint.
Yeah.
A fun effect.
Sherry lives in Lakeport, so you guys are like almost neighbors.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
such a beautiful area up there, Lakeport. That's God's country up there. This is another one that's very slow going for me. And again, it's that sashiko stitching, but I'm doing I did one side paint by number and the other side is the needlepoint, and it's lined, sandwiched, just flannel, a sheet of flannel. And I'm doing, see if you can see it.
So it's basically a cheater quilt, just one
cheater.
big piece of fabric on one side and one big piece of fabric on the other.
And then I'm just stitching long rows all the way through.
Perfect.
So I have to kind of clean up my table and set it all out and stitch through. And it's a bit of a project, but it's pretty much a commitment once I clear the table and set it up. So I haven't really finished it.
But those are some great ideas because they're kind of a bigger print. So you don't really want to cut it up into tiny little pieces sometimes.
Right, but you can, because I did sell these on my Etsy shop. I actually made these just to show the fabric, the different things you could do with fabric, bow ties. And I actually eBayed some vintage bow ties and deconstructed them because I really wanted the kind that had that twist in the middle. I wanted to understand how to make the perfect vintage bow tie. So I was selling these for a while. But again, I don't enjoy it.
Super cute. And the packaging is cute.
Thanks. Flea market bow tie.
Very cute.
Here's one that's.
Oops.
You get it. Okay.
Mary Lou says you need to be on more often because you're just full of ideas.
Oh, that's nice. I know. I just can't stop them. I have so many. Some people that I have made beautiful things. This is a bag made, like a weekender bag made with the needlepoint. How gorgeous is that?
Beautiful. Yeah. Very professional looking.
Oh my God, these are so cute.
They want to know, have you ever gone to the Roseville Flea Market? It's huge.
I have not.
Oh,
I have not.
Yep.
Look.
Oh, very cute on the bears.
Let's see if I can get the, I think one's paint by number. I'm sorry I'm having trouble with the reverse camera. This was just a concept one, but I have a pattern for the schoolhouse tunic, and I really want to make this out of my paint by numbers. And a couple people that I have found on Instagram have made apparel.
Oh, fun.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
Here are some cute little zipper bags made with those cigar labels.
Very cute, girls.
And another bag. This one's with the paint by numbers. All right, quite a pile over here. And I think lastly, I was going to show you the first quilt I've ever designed as a graphic designer, not as a quilter. So what I did is I did the best I could and aesthetically, and then I hired someone to actually create the pattern based on my design. And then we worked together to, it has sort of a, here's the quilt. I'll show you a picture.
And we do have this quilt kitted up because I love it. I love the spider web effect, but I love your idea of how to do it quicker.
So I show, and she was going with the spider web. And again, I got on YouTube and I'm like, because I saw the spider web in an antique quilt and I thought I really want to do something with that. So I went on YouTube and I learned how to do the spider web, the pieces, the triangular pieces. And I thought that just seems like a lot of work for what in my mind seemed like really simple, which is creating your rows first and then cutting out your little pizza slices from the rows that you've already made that are kind of sewn wonky to begin with, because each of the little pie shapes are kind of wonky. I have one I can hold up, and this comes with the one that you're carrying. This also
Yes.
comes with all the pattern pieces that you cut out and use. So here's the actual quilt that I have. Usually I keep hanging in my hallway.
I know anytime you do an interview like this, you got to tear apart your whole house or shop so that you can do show and tell.
So I can't stand very tall, but
I love it. It's absolutely beautiful.
and then the other side is that cheater. But I also continued the striping down the one side. Could you see that?
Yep. It's perfect. It makes me want to start mine
Oh, yay.
in my spare time.
So this is an expensive endeavor, I've learned, is not only quilting, but then designing a quilt, because there's so many things that have to be done, especially if you're having someone else do the pattern. But it was worth it because I love that quilt. And
Me too.
I think that's it for looking around. Yeah, that's it for Flea Market Moxie.
Okay. All right, girls. So we have all of that fabric. We'll have it on Friday's sale. So join us at noon. All right. So can we have a little sneak peek of your studio, or is that going to be crazy?
Do you want to do outdoorsy, or you want to come back and do that another
Oh
time?
yeah. Oh yeah. No, we can do outdoorsy. Yeah.
Okay. And then of
The
course,
pattern is called Hunt and Gather.
yeah. So outdoorsy went along the same lines as my flea market lines, where I start with vintage ephemera. How did they do this? So I'm just showing you. This is kind of what the sales reps bring in to show you. It has all this really fun.
So
vintage
girls,
stuff that I
this
collect.
you can pre-order it with us, but it won't be here till like September-ish.
So I keep in a drawer. I have separate drawers. The actual ephemera that I use to scan, and I do a lot of photoshopping. I'll change some of the words, or make fake ephemera on some of them. And then I usually, after I design that, I usually go straight to the collage So you'll notice a lot of my collections will be the ephemera and then the collage, which is this one.
Oh, I love the bird. You know what? He did not show me the birds.
Oh, you didn't see the birds?
No.
So these are the birds.
Huh. I'll have to ask Mario.
And then these are from a vintage catalog, hardware catalog that had fishing tackle in it. And then, of course, wood, because this is outdoorsy, right? Basket weave. And I'll show you the basket in the studio if we go by it that I used to make that. And then that's the collage. So the collage is sort of like the flat lay that I showed you previously that has all the ephemera, except it's overlapping and can be just used as whole cloth.
Mary Lou said she was coming in tomorrow to pick up her stuff from last week, but now she's going to have to wait till she gets the fabric. So we'll see you next week, Mary.
There's the vintage postcards.
I love that one.
There's moss. There's plaids. So that's the sort of the golden one. Matches the different wood. Another basket weave. Sort of these are more honey colored. And a darker wood. You know, the wood, and I noticed this with the wood crates from Moxie, really make neat tablecloths. So this is more of the fishing tackle in red. And then there's the speckled enamelware, right? When you go camping, like the dishes.
Yes, yes.
More plaid. I'm not very good at this, I can tell. More speckle. I love this green. More plaid. It's sort of something between a blue and a green. And I really like this in blue because it reminds me, it's a little bit more sort of like a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what's neat about this is it's not feminine, but it's not overly masculine. But it is masculine at the same time. Like, you know, it's a guy. There's some more postcards. You know, if you're looking to make something for a boy or a man.
Right. But it also is great for girls because it reminds us of our camping trips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's exactly. And for me, I'm more of a occasional camper. My husband and my kids, they're diehard campers, you know, and I'm more of a wannabe. So I really like it for that. Like you said, I like it for me because it's not, again, overly masculine. It doesn't look too guyish.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you showed them to me because you showed them to me with, I think with the explanation, and plus when a sales rep comes to you, like I look at hundreds and hundreds of fabrics in a few hours, and like at a certain time I'm like over it. So now I'm like writing down all the things I have to call them and reorder.
Plus this collection's at the back of your Moda catalog, so you're probably burnt out by the time you got there.
Yeah.
This is another pattern that Moda's going to offer, and they'll offer it in a kit, but then they'll also, I believe, offer, you know, all the information for you to kit this yourself. Or you can purchase the pattern. So this is actually by Plains and Pine. It's a star quilt.
Absolutely beautiful. It looks too overwhelming for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like that's a lot of points you got to make.
And then I made here's a couple little projects I made.
I know Lynn's like, that looks scary. I know, Lynn.
Oh, really?
That's like for the diehard quilter.
You know what? Go on Instagram if you got any of you are into Instagram and look up Plains and Pine.
Okay.
And she just released this pattern, and she's doing quilt-alongs, and it's like just this pattern. And it's all about this pattern in different sizes, in different scale. So I would look at that and see if it's really that scary. Like see how she's presenting.
Yeah. Yeah. And she might have some tips and tricks.
Yeah.
My people are kind of somewhere in between you and that. I mean, they like to quilt, but they want to be able to get it done in their lifetime.
And I kind of want to get it done in a day. So,
yeah.
You know, like those are my kind of projects. So I was, for outdoor purposes, I made these cute little, you probably have seen these in the stores too, but it's to hold your little outdoor silverware,
Uh-huh.
like your bamboo stuff, forks and knives and chopsticks. So that was fun, just doing the different, using the different colors for that.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
different patterns.
Oh.
And this was this was back when I only had small scraps to work with before I got my fabrics in. So I was making like little napkins and the moss. Did you have a question?
Oh, no. Well, Mary says stars can be done with strips and a 60-degree ruler. So maybe it's easier than it looks, girls.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Here's the birds again. When it's interesting, when I was diagnosed, a lot of people were bringing meals over to us, which was just lovely. And when I could, I would sew basket liners. I love having these in the kitchen. It's just a square on top of a square, it's a square. And then I would sew around the edges. And I use these in the kitchen for serving bread or food or chips or whatever. You just line a basket with these. So this was simple enough and quick enough that I could do that as when you return the casserole dish. I was making those. This is a casserole. I call this my wicker and enamel casserole holder.
Oh, cute. And look at that. So simple.
Yeah, it's just a rectangle folded.
Yeah.
With handles. And Moda, when they send out those little promos, those boxes to the shop owners, they always send what are called Cracker Jacks, little goodies in the box. And so they asked me if I wanted to put some in the box. So I came up with these cute little patches. That one says Camp Wondermore. This is the name of the collection, Outdoorsy. And these are iron-on. And then everybody wants to be camp staff, of course. I thought that'd be cute. Here's my hat. So they're fun for iron-on, but they asked, could you come up with a little project to show off those? So this is the project I came up with, which is called a Crossbody Walking Bag. So when you go for a walk and you just want to carry your bare minimum. So there's your ID. There's a pocket in there for your keys. And it's just using 3 of the fabrics. I
would call it a bar bag.
For going to the bar?
Yes.
I love that. That's my next collection. We're having a bar bag.
Yeah.
But here's the pattern, and this will be free on Moda's website. So you can make it
super
yourself.
Fun. I love that bag.
Let's see what else. I think I hit everything, all my show and tell things. So, I know what else. You had asked me, do I have anything on Etsy? So I was just going to show you real quick. As a graphic designer, I came more from paper crafting and then worked my way into the fabric industry. So one of my most popular crafts that I figured I could turn out and do digitally. So you can go on my Etsy shop, which is just my name, and find it. And you download the files and you print to cardstock, and you can make your own little houses. And there's 3 different types. There's one that goes in a jar, one that you can hang, and one that you can photocopy your favorite fabric and then actually stitch instead of on the fold lines instead of scoring them. So I don't know if you can see, if it hasn't dimmed out, but there's a little light in there. Do you see the little light? And then I actually
That's adorable.
I just put this one in the shop too. It comes free with the mason jar one. It's the mini. So because you can find these at Target, the little mini mason jars.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
And so the pattern
place, I can't do that mirror thing.
So what they're getting on your Etsy site is the pattern for the houses.
That's correct. So for this, you're going to get the pattern for the house and the little pedestal and all the directions. And there's actually a really sad video that goes with it. I mean, it'll make sense. The video's nuts and bolts, but I'm not a video producer. So you'll get a link to that. You'll see me kind of put one together. Then there's also, and I'll show you when I pick up the camera, then there's also the kind that you can just hang and embellish. And those come with another printable that you can print the graphics for the houses if you don't want to just make them with cardstock like scrapbook paper.
Mm-hmm.
There's some printable designs you can use. And then the third one is if you have fabric you love, put it on your copy machine, copy to cardstock, and then use the template, print the template on the backside. When you cut it out, then the fold lines you run through your sewing machine, so then they fold and it looks like you've stitched fabric. It's just super cute.
Mm-hmm. So I hate to put you on the spot, but not really. But would you you can think about this. If you'd want to do like a Zoom class on the houses, because the ladies are like just typing in so fast that they love the houses.
Maybe I could. That would be fun.
Okay. All right.
I bet we could do that if we could arrange something.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
And then
All right,
I'm
thank
just
you,
going to do a
girls.
plug, one more plug on other product that I have. So I designed stencils as well. I'm a little behind. I could probably come up with a new collection, but so far there's 48 different designs. 24 of them are typographic, so they look like old vintage signs or barrel stencils, and like on old boxes. So that's an example of a stencil. Here's an example of some use. But they come in 12.
Wonderful.
Here, that's what it used to look like. So they come in 6x6 and there's also, so there's typographic ones and then there's decorative ones. So there's a line of 24 for each of those. And those are on istencils.com.
Perfect.
If I
Okay.
can figure out the phone thing, I'm going to take you guys for a walk. If I can.
Okay. They're going to love that. They've been waiting all day.
Okay, camera. Oh, I think we got this.
Oh, where do they buy the stencils?
istencils.com.
Okay. istencils.com. Christy, can you type that in for them, please?
All right, here we go. So I'm going to go. This is my front door. Can you
Oh my-
see?
I love all the little doll furniture.
I didn't put it back very well, but that's where I keep that one I just showed you. So I'll tell you what, I'll tell you as if we're coming in the front door.
Oh my gosh, look at that sewing machine.
So here's the whole room.
Oh my goodness.
So I was teaching workshops here before COVID, and we would do everything from paper crafting to fabric collage, lots of, hand stitching projects, that sort of stuff.
I love
So
it.
there's some of my paint by number collection. You can see them way up high too. And there's some more of those mason jar projects. And these are all my Moda fabrics on that shelf.
The girls are all saying we're all going to move in.
Come on over. Wear your mask.
Oh.
So this is kind of my sewing nook. So I get a good shot of it.
Lynn says we can take a road trip for a class.
I really look forward to that happening. I miss, and my husband and I, we talk about instead of just doing one-day workshops, doing, 2 and 3 day workshops so we can, because he loves to cook. And we did a 2-day one here where everybody got hotels or whatever, or they were local, and they came back in the morning and, we had food for them, but they stayed at come at our home for dinner, which, Oh, I wanted to show you my, I have a bunch of ironing boards over there. And this is my Oliso obsession, as if you can't tell. And they've been very generous because I have that many little mini Oliso irons because of workshops. But I just got some pegboard and covered it with cotton fill. I think it's a natural cotton, and then covered it. So this doesn't hurt the dresser. It's just an old garage sale dresser, but I love having that big area for ironing. And then I have like a smaller one I made with a cutting board.
Oh my goodness.
This is how I do my ribbons. I don't know if you can see.
Yes.
So it's a yardstick, and it's just cup hooks. What is that? About every inch, and then curtain rings. So did a book on rosettes. And so I needed to like grab my pinks, and I could just come over here and take the pinks off, right? And just take them over to the table and work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so there's my gum chain collection.
Oh my gosh. How fabulous is that?
This was my flea market fresh collection. And there were 22 fabrics, and Princess and the Pea had 22 mattresses, if you remember the story.
Perfect.
And then you get into more of the paper crafting. So I have a lot of vintage rubber stamps and doodads.
Lynn wants to know if all the little drawers are filled with goodies.
They are. Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
They're really deep too.
Oh my goodness.
They are
Like
filled.
we're all drooling here.
Let's see what else.
Gwen, I don't think the crossover bag is on yet because it's for her next line of fabrics. So they'll probably post it when that fabric's released. So maybe September, right? For the crossover bag?
I would guess that August
Yeah.
or September. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I keep all my rubber stamps in that little yellow dresser. And this is a watchmaker's cabinet. So I keep all the alphabet stamps in here.
Oh my goodness.
You just let me know if I'm going on too long. Washi tape.
No, are you kidding me? I'm like just sitting here drooling. Like I would love to live there.
I spent about a year or more doing assemblage art, which is sort of a three-dimensional collage. Lots of screwing and sawing and drilling. And gosh, I just loved it. But it really made a mess of my studio because I would basically fill this entire table area with boxes organized by metal pieces and wood pieces and decorative wood pieces. And I just couldn't take the mess. So there's still quite a bit of, let's see what's in here. Fun things in here. So like tins. Anyway, it's just, I keep a legend over here of what's in what drawer.
Oh my goodness. The organization is killing me. Oh my God. You would get the hives if you went upstairs and saw how I live.
For me, organizing creatively, and I call it creative keeping, if I make it fun and make it clever and make it funky, I really enjoy it. But I mean, I make a mess like anybody else, and my studio hasn't been clean in months since this has been cleaned for you. This is where I just house things like punches.
Oh.
And
Oh.
put some containers and things.
I know, Kathleen, I'm with you. I can only dream of being that organized.
This is like ribbon scrap where you can actually just reach in the top and get. And then all the buttons are by color.
Lynn, I know she is your people. Lynn is very organized like that too. Christy says you should give a class on organization. The problem is, Christy, is we wouldn't follow it.
I always thought it'd be fun to do a book or something on it because I do enjoy the concept of it. Nobody wants to clean up a mess. And I'll have so many projects going at one time and I'll buzz through them and then I'll leave because, I feel like, well, I don't have time to clean up because I've got more important things to do, and then it'll be like weeks of just organizing and cleaning.
Yeah.
Here's some of the cute little houses. I mean, these are have been hanging around a while, but
they're so adorable.
So those are just printed. I think that's one of the ones that comes free is that design. But you can also do it to any paper, any cardstock. That's just a lot of random stuff. Just trying to keep it organized. And those bottles at the bottom, everybody asks about my bottles. I found this bin full of shoemaker dies. And there's still some dye in some of them. And I thought, I'm going to do something with that dye someday. And I haven't quite yet, but I love the packaging. So I just love the way they look. So a lot of times I may not really need something. I just like the way it looks.
Like literally, we're drooling.
I was teaching how to make washi flowers and just different types of flowers. So there's a lot of stamens. Oh, over here, I'll show you. I'm not as organized as I could be. So over here's like the letters and numbers and, you know, if I want to do some signage or a little promo or something. I was going to say there's also letters and things.
Connie, I'm with you. Connie says, I am speechless.
That cupboard is just, oh, sweet. That cupboard's just full of like spray paint and nothing exciting. I'll show you some other things up here. I have an obsession, if you haven't noticed already, with vintage trucks.
We're
This,
in love.
this cupboard is a little bit random, but it's got vintage like cutter quilts and, oh, this is the thing I showed the other day that you shared.
Yes.
Outside the cupboard door. I just keep, it's like an earring holder or jewelry.
Yeah.
I don't know, some fabric. They're not that expensive. So I just keep little embroidered bits.
Well, and the truth of the matter is, if you're organized like that and you see what you have, you'll actually use it.
That's the idea. I mean, technically, it would make more sense to have plastic bins that you could see everything in. So my system isn't completely practical, but it's still eye candy for me.
Yes.
You know, I'd rather look at this than plastic bins, but I get how practical they are. And this is just the sitting area in the library. So I have a pretty extensive resource library for a lot of things. Everything from vintage lettering to embroidery to studio organizing, a lot of graphic design books. And you know, of course, my husband goes nuts when he tries to sit on the couch because there's too many pillows, but he doesn't understand. You guys, I know you guys get that.
Yeah. Yeah. The bed has the same problem.
This is just a vintage chair that was headed for the thrift store that came out of my husband's childhood home. I'm like, there's no way that's going to the thrift store. So I just love to patch it with random.
But I love how you patched it as opposed to redoing the entire thing.
Right.
That is
like
fabulous.
A vintage label. Those were the little chairs my kids used around the coffee table when they were young. We kind of turned it into a little eating table.
Gwen wants to know, have you never moved?
We've been here about 21 or so years. I haven't done the math.
Yeah.
And then this is where I was sitting when I was talking to you. I had to put the shade down. It was really bright, but this is sort of my desk area, which is kind of a mess now because I made that pile, but.
Well, it does kind of look like you're human now.
Yeah, there's your mess. I'm going to come back to you all when it's really messy, which is more often than not. And then here's the little cabinet that holds all the ephemera that's in my different collections. So Outdoorsy, you know, there's all the pieces from Outdoorsy. And you can't read that. You can't read that because those are collections that are next. You get these at Michael's. These are those little trays, or whatever they're called. I can't say that word. So those are really great for organizing fabric. And I've been collecting all these different fabrics because I was doing classes on fabric collage. But, you know, I'm just not sure where things are going to go after all of this.
That's the truth. Kind of really anybody's guess
for fabrics. I think that's it.
All right, girls. Do you have any other questions for Cathe? Type them in quick. I do have a goodie bag. Oh, look at! I just want to come play there. Every time I see something new.
Let me try to put this back up on a little stand. Sorry about my hand.
Oh, that's okay. They're used to it. Okay, girls. Nan wants to know, do you have a collage piece that you can show? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Girls, can you hear us? Uh-oh. I don't think she can hear me. Christy, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can you girls hear us? Can you, Cathe, can you hear me? Well, she's left. Where'd she go? Uh-oh. Okay, so maybe, hopefully she'll join us back. I don't know. So anyways, we do have a goodie bag. So I'm going to scroll and I'm going to put this in somebody's Friday bag. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, here she's coming back. Okay. Oh, Lynn Jenkins. Lynn Jenkins, you're the lucky winner of the, it's a goodie bag by Moda, but there's the outdoorsy patches in here. All right, I'm going to put that in Lynn Jenkins' bag for Friday. Okay, wait, let me add Cathe back to the stream. There you are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
No, that's okay. It happens all the time. Okay. Let's see. So we just had a winner. Lynn Jenkins won the goodie bag with your outdoorsy patches. And oh, they're like, we can hear you, Beth, but we can't hear her. Okay, let's see. Oh, Nan wants to know if you have applique piece, a collage piece that you can show.
I didn't, you know what? I packed, sadly, I packed them away and I don't remember where I put them. And that's kind of been happening with me.
Oh, that's okay.
Talk amongst yourselves for 1 second. I think I have
okay.
one idea.
Okay. Okay, girls. Wait, let me see. Fabulous space. Okay, I don't know if she can hear us, so I don't want to read too many of the comments. I know, Peggy. Wow, just wow. Like, that's all we can say. Wow. They're going to rewatch it. It was so inspiring.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some posts where I've shared the pictures of them, and I'll send those to you if you want to share that.
Perfect. And then you guys, you do Instagram and do you do Facebook?
I do Facebook. So I have a Facebook page, Cathe Holden.
Okay.
You do Cathe Holden Design, CATHE Holden. I'm really much bigger into Instagram. So you may not see everything on Facebook that you will definitely see on Instagram. And I started in this whole industry of crafting and having my own blog called Just Something I Made a long time ago. Started in 2008, back when you had to explain what a blog was. And it just I haven't posted in over a year. So I plan to completely revamp my whole website, which means you're going to lose a lot of the freebies that you can find on there now. So if you want to grab a freebie off of my website, there's just some cute, fun projects. And I've started taking a lot of them off. But CatheHolden.com, you can find them. And then I'll have a new website hopefully soon. But I won't be blogging nearly as much. I'd rather just be an Insta blogger, just show what's going on day to day.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't realize that it just takes a lot of time and energy to keep Facebook up to date and to do all the posts. Because if you're just doing one thing, it takes 3 minutes. But you've got to plan it. You've got to take photo. It's a lot more work than...
A ton of work. I mean, just to come up with the concept, then to make it, and then take all the different photos. And then I do a lot of Photoshop just to edit everything. Gosh, and then if you're going to do a video. So it's way longer than the project would ever take. And I don't always have that in me to do. So someday, I don't think I'll ever have a staff. I don't think I want to get to that point, but, I'm doing the best I can. So, as long as everybody can take the fact that I don't make big quilts and they don't mind the smaller projects, I'll farm some of that out. But yeah, the social media is a lot of work.
Yes, for sure.
Especially if you're I don't know how good I am at it, but.
Right. No. Well, and I decided when COVID first started, I was like, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be planned. It has to, and like I was killing myself. And then finally I decided they just get what they get. And you know what? It's just real life. And
you know what I love about Instagram is Pinterest has always kind of stressed me out. I get on Pinterest, I'm like, it's too perfect. I'll never be able to be like them, or I can't one up this at all, or what do I have to offer Pinterest? But if you go to Instagram and you know what you're looking for, you can just use a hashtag and it brings up real life, current, behind the scenes, whatever. Some of them are very polished, photographs, and I'll have some pretty polished photographs of my projects too, but it just feels more in the now and not so salesy and doable. But like you could do, if you wanted to see my stencils, you could go Inspired. They're called Inspired Barn because that's what my barn is called, Inspired Barn. But if you go Inspired Barn Stencils, you just do that as a hashtag. You'll see all the neat projects you can do with that. So I love Instagram for the searchability. And I also love it because it's like you said, they're not always perfect. I just want to see what people are doing in real life. And it's not super real life, but it's very well edited life,
right.
But mine's very well edited. So.
Well, and I think a lot of times if you wait till something's perfect, you're never going to do it. It's never going to get done. So it's better to do it and enjoy it than to put that much pressure on yourself.
And that goes back to done is better than perfect. And
yes.
I have to remember to say that to myself, on a lot of projects.
Right.
Because a lot of people are doing really great things and making money and doing all kinds of stuff because they didn't wait for it to get perfect. They just started going. And I've always been somebody who, I don't know what the psychological thing is behind that, but, it has to be just right. Nobody's going to like it if it's not perfect. And it kept me from doing a lot of things.
Right. So. Right. Yeah, I've always been more of a let's get it done because I'm never going to be perfect. Okay. Did you recover the desk chair yourself?
Yeah. So I found some vintage, or I had some vintage floral bark cloth, and you'd be surprised sometimes how easy these are, how easy they come apart. I don't know if you can see the arm. I can lift it up, but turn it around. So you can just there's screws underneath. You can take off different pieces and cover it. And then this was just a lot of tucking. And this piece came off because I could see my staples behind it and then got screwed back on. Yeah. I've done lots of desk chairs. You just kind of look at them and see how you can take them apart and how you can recover them. And for me, another thing that I always had trouble with was, it's such beautiful vintage bark cloth. How could I ever use it? But I'm telling you, since my diagnosis, I'm using the heck out of everything. Like what? You just totally think about everything,
yes.
What am I saving this for? My kids to deal with when I'm gone? I'm not terminal. I just want to clear that up. But at least, as far as we know, everything's going to be fine. But it changes the way you think about those type of things. So I'm using the heck out of my vintage fabrics, whatever.
Right. And that is something I totally agree with. My mom has quilts made by my great grandmother in a chest at the bottom of her bed. I've never seen them. I'm almost 50 years old. Never seen these quilts that I hear so much about. I think probably the rats have eaten them, or the moths have eaten them, or what are we saving them for? Get it out and enjoy it and use it. Don't, use the good china. Don't save it. What are you saving it for?
And the good silver, because the silver gets better with use,
Yeah. Use it and enjoy it. Yeah. Leilani says, live for now and use what you have. And both Facebook and Instagram have their place in our creative world. So yeah, it's just great little venues that we have that are now available to us so that we can connect, and we can connect with people all over the world. And it's kind of been a good thing that, not that COVID's been a good thing, but it's been really kind of an eye-opener for all of us to see how connected we can be, even if we're not in the same city. It's opened it up so we can have you join us for a Zoom class, even though we're in, we might not be able to drive to Petaluma. So it's been kind of a fun time.
Yeah.
And the industry has been really fun. I've been in the industry for 30 some odd years, and it's been really exciting to see how it evolves.
Yeah. And I think for the sewing industry, it's probably never been better.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be some blessings that come out of the bad things. And I think that might be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, we have loved having you on. The ladies have loved you. You'll have to go back and read all the comments because it's overwhelming.
Aw, thank you,
there-
everyone. That's
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. Thank you, Cathe, for being our guest. And we will see you girls at 2:00 on Wild Wednesday Live. All right. Have a great hour, girls. Go get lunch or something. We'll see you soon.
Thank you,
All
Beth.
right. Thank you.
Okay.